Hi, welcome to Me Living. Per many requests from my viewers who watched my YouTube live a few days ago making monk tofu, today I'm going to demonstrate using tamarind water to make monk tofu. This is a recipe from a dear friend of mine from Madison, Wisconsin. My dear friend from Madison, Wisconsin gave me her permission to share this recipe on my YouTube video to our young generation. Nên giờ mong thọ ở trong nó tao cho con à. Cái recipe nó giờ có khiết về có một cái cho chạy cho cú lọ ua có cái recipe nó cho sầu của trong YouTube. Cho bé cho mình nhỏ. Số lần số tụ tao cỡ cho giá tổn đây để nông có thiết của ư là lâu nó là lấy thế li bao ua tôi cho ư nó nè ấy ua cho có ua niệm giờ nó mò. So please join me in making this very delicious monk tofu using tamarind water. Let's prepare the tamarind water. In this bowl, I have about 32 cups of room temperature water using a 14-ounce seedless tamarind, but I'm just going to use 1/3 of this tamarind to soak in the bowl. This is a pack I have already used 1/3 the other day, and now I'm cutting 1/3 out of here. So just take a knife and cut 1/3. Just about that much. Take some water from the bowl. The tamarind water, you can soak it overnight or for an hour or two, it doesn't matter. Putting the tamarind in the cup here. I'm going to put my hand in, squeeze the tamarind into the water. This is how you make the tamarind juice or tamarind water. Okay. Now I'm pouring into the rest of the water in the bowl. Now letting the tamarind soak in the water for an hour or two. I'm using a 100% cotton bag here to strain the tamarind water. When preparing tamarind water to make tofu, it is always safe to prepare more water than less. You can always toss it out if you don't use it all, rather than not enough. Here's how it looks. This should be plenty. When setting the soybean pot on the stove, use a bamboo spatula, stir occasionally. I started with high heat. Once the pot starts to boil, and then I began to use tamarind water to solidify the tofu. That's when I reduce the heat to medium throughout the cooking process. It is time now to reduce the heat to medium only throughout. Her cooking method on this recipe is slightly different than my old recipe, so I am following the same instruction as what she told me. I can see in the pot tofu is now starting to form. I have to wait for the pot to have a complete boil before adding another ladle of the tamarind water. Know that each time I have to wait for a complete boil in the pot before adding in the tamarind water. Way to the bottom again, very gently. The reason my friend instructed me not to remove any of the bubbles in the pot is because she said the bubbles still contained some soybean juice in it. If I remove the bubbles, I would lose some juice already. And that's the reason she wanted me to keep the bubbles in the pot. The broth is starting to clear up a little bit here. Tofu is looking very nice here. The reason I'm pouring the juice over the tofu is just to add consistency of the heat on the top layer of the tofu here. The juice is starting to clear up a bit, but not quite. See, not quite. It's looking very good. The juice is clear and nice. See? Mhm. One more letter at the end. Okay. This is probably it. Mhm. I think this should be good enough. No more tamarind water because the juice is all clear up and nice. And the tofu has been solidified very nicely here. See? At this point, if you like your tofu to be soft, you can turn off the heat and it's done. But I usually keep the heat on for about 10 minutes after the last letter of the tamarind water because I like my tofu to be a little bit more firm. That is a personal preference. So at this time, I use a timer to time about, you can do 7, 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it's fine. Oh, It's looking very delicious. In this recipe, I'm not adding cold water at the end to stop the heating from cooking because my friend believes that by adding water at the end, that diluted the flavor of the tofu juice. Therefore, I'm keeping it as it is, the way she instructed me in this recipe. Oh, I am very pleased. Turns out very nice. It's all done. Turning off the heat. Let's have some fresh tofu. Wow, looking very nice. Mm. Let's enjoy the freshly made Hmong tofu. I am always dueling before I eat each time. Ooh, so delicious. So good. Mhm. Let's have a bite. Mmm, very delicious. Hmong tofu you can serve both hot and cold, but in the winter time like this, it is best to serve hot in my preference. So delicious. Wow. Mm. The firmness of the tofu is just right for me. Mm. Wow, so good. Mm. Thank you very much for watching me living today making Hmong tofu using tamarind water. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.